إن الحمد لله أحمده وأستعينه وأستغفره وأستهديه وأعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الداعي إلى رضوانه اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما ثم أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, when the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent by Allah as a prophet and was asked to deliver the message to the people, at that point in time, everyone recognized Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the most truthful and the most honest, as-sadiq al-amin. That was the way that people all around him have recognized him, and they have reached to that conclusion after living there for 40 years. So they saw him growing up in the same community all the way until he reached the age of 40. He worked there, he learned there, he socialized with everyone, so everyone has recognized him as the most truthful, the most honest. But when that happened, when he became the prophet, and we started to tell people about it, about the truth and about their Lord and about the falsehood that they were following, everything started to flip. And now they accused him of being a magician, sahir, of being a false teller, kadhab, of being crazy or insane, majnoon, and all these things. And they changed, they flipped the terminologies of khair and shar. Meaning the khair, the goodness became evil and the evil became good. And that flipping of terms and perspectives and understandings was their way to fight the Prophet. The same thing happened with all the prophets before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As Moses came to the Pharaoh, the Pharaoh used to tell people, "I'm your Lord. Everything in this whole place is under my control. أَلَيْسَ لِي مُلْكُ مَصْرٍ? Don't I own the whole of Egypt? وَهَذِهِ الْأَنْهَارُ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِي, and all these rivers are running underneath me with all of his gardens and palaces and whatnot." But when Moses came to tell him, "I am calling you and everyone else to worship Allah, the one who created you and everyone else," the Pharaoh could not handle this, because that was the opposite of everything he was calling people to. And he could not face this reality, so he wanted to really flip the perspective here, and he said, "Okay, we'll defeat you, we'll bring all our magicians." When he made that statement, the implicit statement that the Pharaoh has done was that you, O Moses, are a magician, and we will defeat you with other magicians. Because he could not admit that what Moses now is calling for is something that really makes perfect sense for everyone. That how could a human being be a Lord? The Lord is the one who created all human beings, including the Pharaoh. The same thing happened with all other prophets. They accused them of being people who did not have a status, people who were insane, and all these kind of things. And they made an environment that afflicted everyone in the community, where if they were to think about joining the prophets, then as if they are going to be labeled with all these evil labels that they have put to the prophets. Brothers and sisters, Allah has said in the Quran about the hypocrites, لَقَدْ ابْتَغَوُا الْفِتْنَةَ مِنْ قَبْلِ وَقَلَّبُوا لَكَ الْأُمُورِ. That the hypocrites have desired to put you all in conflict. And spread all the fitna between you. How did they do it? وَقَلَّبُوا لَكَ الْأُمُورِ. That they have upset the affairs. They have moved the khair or labeled the khair as shar and the shar as khair. They have labeled the kufr as belief and belief as kufr. So the disbelief became belief and belief became disbelief, and the goodness became evilness and vice versa. So they flipped all those meanings that people understand into their opposite. And when they did so, as just Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, when Rasulullah ﷺ returned back from the battle, what did he say? He said that the most honored one will expel the Muhammad, meaning he put all the honors to himself, and he put down Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the ayah لَيُخْرِجَنَّ الْأَعَزُّ مِنْهَا الْأَذَلُّ came with that in Surah Al-Munafiqun, that he was advertising to the people that, look, I am Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, that everyone knew me in Medina, in the city of Medina. And who are you comparing me to? Muhammad, such an immigrant, worth nothing in our city? Why would you give him an honor? I am the honored person. So when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was returning back from the battle, some of the people who were actually inflicted by the hypocrites, they really bought this message, and they were like, yeah, you cannot, oh Muhammad, you cannot be the one who would start, getting into the city. The most honored person has to come first, which is Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has exposed them, and we know the story about it. But the thing here is that those enemies of belief and those enemies of the prophets have made every possible effort to spread some misunderstanding on what people should recognize as good and what should people recognize as bad, as wrong. And so much so that people got so much confused at sometimes that they were not willing to accept the truth, even though they feel there is something nice about it, only because they were afraid that they will be labeled in the wrong way. Brothers and sisters, understanding this actually helps us to understand one of the most severe fitnas that we are seeing around us nowadays. And that is the way our ourselves, and we and our families are facing this society. Like how we have been labeled, how our belief in this religion have been assessed or evaluated by others. I want to give you concrete examples, and I want to let you really think about them very, very clearly. One very, very common thing now is about the terminology of Sharia. Sharia, everyone knows, is this system, Islamic system of doing things, and all the rulings. It's all the judicial system. It's how we manage our affairs. It's the halal and haram. It's the permissible and not permissible. It's everything, and that's actually a huge part of Quran and Sunnah. It's very unfortunate now that there are people who made this label of Sharia to be equivalent to terrorism. And everyone knows what some of the bad ones have actually done against the Sharia, and they abused that, and they made it look as if Sharia is equivalent to slaughtering and killing and cutting and blooding and all that stuff. And nowadays, many of us are not willing to talk about Sharia, being proud of belonging to this religion of Islam. Why? Because this terminology has been labeled as being equivalent to terrorism. Another example. When we talk about the hijab, the cover of the woman, of the Muslim woman, for all of us this means modesty. But now it means being slave to your husband. I'm serious. It means being slave to the men. Because who stops a woman from showing and exposing her beauty to the people, except maybe this jealous husband? That's how it is being conveyed now. So hijab is being labeled as this. For children, it's like diaper head. Wal-'iyadhu billah. That's how it is being labeled. I heard this from Muslim children. They said, when we grow up, we don't want to have the hijab because it makes us look bad. That's how it is. That's how they convert the truth and they flip it and they make it look as evilness. A third example, growing beard. In the past, Aisha radiallahu anha used to make an oath, وَالَّذِي زَيَّنَ الرِّجَالَ بِاللِّحَى. I swear by the one, Allah, who made men beautiful with their beard, who beautified men with their beard. And now, beard looks ugly. I was in the masjid one time, and there was a brother who chose to grow his beard. And at the beginning, at the early time of growing beard, it doesn't really look as it should be. But it has to go through this. And as he stepped into the masjid, the people, his friends who saw him, "Oh brother, what happened to you? How come you look like this? What's wrong? You don't have money to go and shave your beard? Why are you doing this? Didn't we tell?" And all that stuff. And wallahi, the brother shaved his beard. It's actually how people now are pushing us to change our belief by making a new prospect to the things that we believed in to be great and noble and nice and all that, and make them look bad and look evil. Brothers and sisters, this is a very important this is a very severe fitna that we are going through. And it is impacting all of us. It's actually deciding or actually believing in what is good to be good and what is bad to be bad, and not mixing the two together. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه وتوبوا إليه إنه غفور رحيم. الحمد لله على إحسانه والشكر له على توفيقه وامتنانه، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله تعظيما لشانه، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الداعي إلى رضوانه. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. A fourth example, brothers and sisters, is riba. Riba, usury. When you take a loan from someone and then you return that loan with extra money, extra charge. People have changed that terminology to sound like an interest. In Arabic they call it now fa'ida, which is exactly like interest, something that actually benefits you. And people are now mixing the two. Why wouldn't someone take that interest? Are you insane? Are you insane not to take interest? Are you? Why would you continue paying for rent? Why are you going to continue spending your money and not saving your money and all these arguments? One time I was talking about staying away from usury, from riba, even if people call it interest. And I still remember a brother from Algeria who heard this, and he was about to buy his house from the bank using the mortgage system. He heard this khutbah and he became reluctant. He was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? He had some money saving that he wanted to put as first installment, as like a first payment. And he was about really to go to the bank. But then he changed his mind. And he said, let me just be patient and wait about it and investigate the matter more. Perhaps I should ask a second opinion and all that. And then this man disappeared. I saw him after 1 year. And he came to me, he's saying, Wallahi, I want to thank you. Not because of the fiqh issue or not because of any of the things that you did. But you know what? When you talked about this thing about using mortgage and taking that loan with interest being part of riba, I thought about it and I said, let me just wait. And then I was about to put all my money towards the first payment. But then when I waited, few days later, I had a call from my mother, from my family, that my mother is too sick and she is actually facing death. And I decided to go to Algeria to be next to her. And when I went there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me a better job than what I had in Canada. And not only that, my mother became more healthy. And I managed to buy a house there, not only for me, but also for my mother. And now I would never think about moving or changing my status. I'm next to my mother and I have a better job. Brothers and sisters, people don't realize these. The problem here is when we have this pressure from the community. Are you insane? Are you crazy? Why are you just spending your money in rentals? And why are you doing this? Unfortunately, we are taking this. We're being pressured and we are accepting those things. We see our kids. I have many kids who came to me, even from my own family, who said, I don't like the beard. It doesn't look nice. People see it as a waste. Same thing with hijab, same thing with sharia, same thing with all these noble things that we have grown up to understand and realize. I want to repeat that by saying that the battle, the fitna, may take different shapes, but one of the most severe fitnas in nowadays is actually flipping the halal to become haram and the haram to become halal, flipping the belief to become disbelief and the disbelief to become belief, and so on and so forth. So much so that people will become so confused and will no more realize what is good versus what is bad. And that's absolutely the core meaning of a fitna. The action item that we need to have is really, let the source be, and the only source of our definition of what is good and what is bad, be the divine word that came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because people can say anything they want, and they can use all their media to convince you of their arguments. But then there are so many agendas that are public and others that are private. But the divine word that came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came from the one who knows us, who created us, who wants us the khair. And those are the ones, this is the source from which we can tell and we can recognize and we can assess anything to be either good or bad. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. إلهنا أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم يا ربنا علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله العظيم الجليل يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. استووا اعتدلوا. Straighten your line. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى. إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم. الله أكبر.